What is good, you guys? Welcome back. You're getting ready to listen to a client session that I had with a lovely, beautiful, amazing client. And I'm so glad that she said that I could post this for you guys to listen to. I felt that it was so many nuggets and so many little shifts that happened throughout this conversation. Such a beautiful conversation. She also believed that it will assist you guys. So make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments down below. Anything that you need to know about working with me or anything else is down in the description box below. And yeah, you guys, I want to say that imagination is on your side, and I am too. And I will see you guys on the next one. So let's get into this beautiful conversation.
Okay, so how's it going? What's going on?
So I must say that after the meeting on Saturday, the one I joined in, um, when we were done, I was kind of like thrown a bit off because I thought that I had been in the desired state until, okay, you know what? I think I should just start from the beginning so that in a way, I think maybe you might be able to understand how I came to that conclusion. So, like I said, I had noticed over a period of time that I was attracting the same kind of person. And I noticed that because there was this one guy who I was just so into, and I just couldn't understand like why. That's when I think I started noticing the pattern because I'm like, wait, it's the same thing with him, the one before and the one after. So the thing is, I can tell that most of the people I meet, we get along really well. I think I'm quite fun, I'm interesting, I'm good company, but it never develops into more than maybe it'll just be something like physical, like I had said, like a situationship, but never beyond that, right? And then I realized that it was me, of course, who after I mean I've been learning about the law of assumption and everything for I'd say maybe 3 or 4 years. I knew about it, but then I'd say like I really dove deep in the last 3 years. So that's when I started looking at those patterns and realizing all these things that the kind of thought patterns that I was having, the what state I was in. And so there's this one guy, like I said, the main SB who I really, really like. But then I decided, you know what, I'm going to now try and focus on myself, right? So I just kind of ghosted him about 3 months ago because I just didn't want that distraction, that coming in, out, in, out. So I was like, you know what, let me work on myself. And if that means to cancel him or ghost him, that's fine. I just sent a message and said that, what did I tell him? That I'm going through something and when I'm ready to talk, we'll talk. That's what I said. Anyway, so a couple of weeks ago, someone from the past resurfaces. And I noticed that this time around, I don't want that anymore. I don't want the whole like not putting in effort, not showing up for me. And that's why I sent a text on Saturday saying that I don't want this. I'm not even really that interested in him. If I was to choose, I really don't want him. But I guess the person that I was before would have still entertained him. But this time was like, no, I believe that I am in the state of somebody who's chosen. And when I sent that text message, I was sending it as somebody who's chosen, who does not tolerate that kind of breadcrumbs. So that's why I sent the message. So when you said that I was still in that state of not being chosen, when I sent the message, that kind of threw me off because I was like, oh, I thought I was by
Yeah,
me sending that message was like, I'm not entertaining this. In fact, I kept on saying that's the old me. The old me would have, let this continue. But who I am right now is chosen. And if this guy doesn't choose me or doesn't, yeah, like I said, doesn't pursue me, then I don't want that because, like I said, I kind of know where it's gonna end up.
right. But
So
that's what I was saying. You were
mm,
projecting saying that you knew how it was going to end up. But if you were already in the state of being chosen, how could you assume that it was going to play out the same way? He could have been entering your life
even if it's
from the
somebody I
future.
didn't want,
No, people show back up all the time that mirror
even
back
if it's
to you who you are now. So if who you are now is different, then that means that he has to be different coming in. he wouldn't be able to approach you.
And then
But
from there, I
it
had to choose whether I want him or not based on.
yes, but it was your assumption that this is going to turn out the way that it was before. That was an assumption.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, it over the last 1 week, I was just like, this is playing out the same way it's always played out with all the others. Like the same thing is
Yeah,
happening, and then
yeah,
usually when
you're
I
telling the
start
story.
feeling that way, I cut it off.
Yeah, you were telling the story. The thing is, it doesn't matter that that thought came up of this is gonna play out the same way. It was everything you did after the thought, because remember, all thoughts can come up because they're just invitations that will say the thought was saying, "Okay, this is going to end up the same way that it always has." And that is an invitation for you to either not do anything with a thought and still say, I am chosen no matter what. Of course, whoever comes into my life is going to mirror back to me who I am now. It doesn't matter what happened because there is no perceived, really, no past. When you are in a new state, you have a different past. So now you bought into the thought. It said, okay, yes, this is going to play out the way it has before. But did you notice that when you agreed to that thought, you started remembering the past, you started remembering and thinking of all the ways that it did go back to the way it was before. So it was the thoughts that was compounding on top of that thought, and it was the feelings and everything what you were doing inwardly, because nothing was happening in the physical, but it was everything that you were doing inwardly that was creating the story of, yes, this has to happen from the past. Because if you would have gave new sensation and new thoughts that of course he's different showing up, of course he's going to pursue me, of course he's this, he's that, and you would have imagined and felt that in, that would have been the reality.
So you think if I was in the state of being chosen, even if I did not want, I don't really want this guy. That's not the one I want. There's another one.
Right.
Even if it would still have been different.
It
Is
would
that
have been
what you're
different
saying?
because you would have
Um,
assumed different. This is your world. Whatever is going on in your world is going to be a mirror of what you perceive about yourself. It can be no other way. It can be no other way. These people are arising out of you. He's coming out of you. This person is coming out of you, mirroring back to you who you perceive yourself to be. It can be no other way. So if you were to tell the new story and not, the thing is both stories existed. That story where it would have went back to the way it was previously, and the new story existed as well. They're both equal. It's you have to see that both of those stories are equal. You just get to choose as the source of your life, your reality, your world, the way you believe your worldview is, and all of that. It's different from every other individualized concept of I am. Whatever you would be for his life is going to be based off of how he feels about himself. And somehow they all work together. But you could have chosen differently and it would have been mirrored differently. Even if you didn't want that guy, it could have still been a sign that was, but you don't know you if you really wanted him or not. Because what if he was completely different and the events played out a different way? You really don't know the exact hows of how the person that you really want is going to come back, because this could have been that step in showing you that yes, you're worthy, yes, you're special, yes, you're chosen, and I'm here playing that out with you. And who knows, you still could have ended up with a friend and then that other person would have came in,
mm,
because you don't know the story. You don't know the story comes out of the state. So you're just supposed to enjoy the ride of being someone who's chosen.
okay. I think I now get it because there's also something you said on Saturday was that when you decide you're chosen, it means you're chosen in all areas of life. And I think
Exactly.
what my focus was this one other person that I really want to choose me. I hadn't even thought about everyone else, you know?
Mhm.
And when I even think about like my finances and work, I was not being chosen for work. And I feel like also money's not really choosing me. So it's like
Yeah,
it's in all areas, not just in relationships, even with
absolutely.
friendships. I'm kind of like coming in second, but it's just, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what this means, like, your whole world. is reflective of your identity. So think about it first. The identity is I am. I am is your identity, but then you've added chosen on the end of that. So I am has a specific focus of being chosen. And so this goes
Mm,
to the whole reality that you're creating. So you're in a new state and a new story comes out of that state. So the same people that were in the state that were showing you that you were not chosen, these are new people in a new state that are coming out of you because it comes through you to show you that you are now chosen. So the job will be different, the money will be different, the friendships will be different, and the dating will be different. And you'll have new people come in, and sometimes some people won't approach, but
mm,
it all is well. The thing you have to see is it's all welcome because you're the source. But I think it's sometimes we see that the reality that we don't want, we say that if I don't get what I want, then I'm just subject to this reality instead of making this reality also a choice. So don't see that you're going to just be subject to this if you don't get the person that chooses you or the whatever it is that you want in this reality. You have to make both realities a choice because together they're both needed because they make up I am. Because I am lived in that experience and this experience, and it was equal to who you truly are. So none was better than the other. You would have to see that the you that believed that they wasn't chosen, that was a perfect reality for the version of you that wasn't chosen. You said the friends weren't choosing you, the job wasn't choosing you, the partner,
yeah.
it was perfect. So you have to just accept that that reality was perfect. Now the reason why you feel like, I don't want to live that reality anymore is because you have everything you want within I am. So why would you choose lack? It's just a saying, why would you choose to have some sort of lack in your life? But that doesn't mean that it was wrong. It's just you just accept it for what it was, that you don't have to change this and you don't have to drag that you over to this new reality to be chosen, to make this you that didn't feel chosen, chosen. You leave that reality and that you
Mhm.
that didn't feel chosen alone because that timeline still goes on. Your awareness as I am is just not focused on it. So you're completely focused in the new reality of just being chosen, and you're only choosing that. You're just only choosing it.
Okay. I guess I just was so thrown off because in my head I was like, no, I'm in the reality of somebody who's chosen. So
Yeah,
when you said, I
yeah,
was just
yeah,
like,
no.
he's saying.
No,
That's
you
why
were
I
trying
couldn't
to
comment
make
after. I was
you
like,
yeah,
I'm
you
like,
were trying
oh,
to
she's wrong.
you were trying to make the you that didn't feel chosen, and you were trying to control circumstances instead of seeing that they all come out of you. So there's nothing that you would have to do. All you have to do is just keep choosing, I'm chosen. I'm chosen. And the thing is, however that would have played out with him, it would have still been signifying that I'm chosen, whether it would have
Mm,
naturally progressed on its own to where if he would have tried it the way it was before, you would have automatically took the stance, but you were projecting before it even got there. You were making up the story before it even got there.
yeah,
So, of
I
course, he
did.
could and that's why he probably said okay because what if his intentions was to show you that you were chosen? You won't know that because you projected a story from the one. You still had the identity of the one that didn't feel chosen. So you were trying to make that one be chosen, and it never will. It has a completely different story. This you that is chosen has a completely different past of always being chosen and a future that will project that they will have always been chosen. So it's two different identities, two different states, two different realities.
Yeah, I can see that now because I remember thinking even after when I sent the message, it's something that I've done way before. Like I always like try and cut these guys off,
Mhm.
hoping that when I do that, they'll be like, oh no, let me try now, let me put in the effort. And then
Yeah.
they don't. It's like, okay, bye. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's almost like I'm
Yeah.
testing them?
Right,
So
because yeah, because you still have the identity of not being chosen. It doesn't matter what you think should happen. The identity is I'm not chosen. So it will have to show. Everybody will have to show you that you're not chosen. So if you could see that I am, you as your true nature are always fulfilling yourself, no matter what identity you choose. If you have the identity of I'm not chosen, it must be fulfilled because you are fulfillment as I am. It's the one that puts the light in the state and lights it up and makes all the people come forth. So you're not, so there's nothing wrong with him or anybody else in your life because you call forth the people that are showing you and mirroring back to you that you're not chosen. So there can be no other here. That's what it means when there's a unity consciousness here, that there is no other person outside of you doing something to you. They're mirroring you. They're you're doing the dance together because you have the identity saying I'm not chosen. So you must show me that I'm not chosen. And everybody plays the role to fulfill I am. And so they'll do it in this reality too. They'll now show you, the friends will show you, like, oh my gosh, like, I love you so much. Let's go out. They'll do all the things for you. They'll put you first. You know, the guys that come in, they'll put you first, the jobs, the opportunities, because now you decided, okay, we're no longer playing that reality anymore. It's perfect, but I'm not going to make that identity try to come over here and finally be chosen because you're trying to fix that identity. Doesn't need to be fixed, but you're just choosing from the one that was always chosen. And so now you have a different past. And so people must show up and mirror back to you the identity that you're chosen.
Mm,
And the opportunities will come. You'll have a whole new life, new opportunities, new people, new you'll see new people coming in. You'll see people that was in the other reality now come back from a different perspective. So
yeah.
all you should be doing really is just choosing. Don't try to say, okay, if I don't do something about this version of myself and all the things in the past that I think have happened, don't worry about it. You leave that what it is because it's still going to be there. Because the moment you still say, I'm not chosen, you go back to that identity and that reality. It's there for your choosing. That's what it's telling you. It's here for your choosing. But this is also
Mm.
here for your choosing as well. So both
When
that's
I
why
started having those doubts is when I should have been like, nope.
yeah, that's what
I'm,
it means to be the observer,
ah,
is to see that both all of it can exist. Think about it. If you're the source of your whole reality, your whole world, that means all realities can exist, even the unfavorable ones. But I am doesn't see a good or a bad. Doesn't only the human perspective that's in a story, of course, has judgments about a good or bad or have preferences. But when you're identified as I am, you see that I am in this reality where I'm not chosen, and I'm in this reality where I'm chosen. And when I see both of them as equal, that means I put myself as the source above both of them, that I get to choose, and that I'm not beholding to one identity or another. I get to choose from the infinite instead of from me, the character inside the story that has a past of not being chosen and a future of not being chosen. And I'm trying to make this character drag it over to another reality where I can fix that character and it will finally be good enough. You have to see that both of them are good enough as they are. That doesn't need to be changed. It had a whole life. That identity of you had a whole life and it was great.
a
But this
very long life.
yeah, but this
Wow.
identity also has a whole life too. That is totally different than this life. So there's no need to try to change. All you're doing is choosing. So don't worry about what happened. All you're doing is choosing. I'm chosen in every facet of my life. My life has to show it. So don't worry about anything from the past or trying to fix anyone, anything, because no one did anything to I am. No one did anything to you. It was just, and that's how you forgive yourself is by choosing what you prefer now, not trying to fix, but just you forgive it completely by forgetting it, by realizing that I don't have to choose that anymore. This is my only focus is being chosen.
Okay. So I was listening to one of your podcasts about, I think it was between you and another lady talking about why we're obsessed with our SPs.
Mhm.
What's the real reason behind it? And I remember thinking, this one guy who, like I said, I guess I was obsessed with. I had to ask myself because it felt like it was him or nobody else. And I'm like, why am I stuck on this guy? And I realized it's because him choosing me would make me feel like kind of worthy or accepted because he's, according to my perception, is, grew up in a good family, a family with money, went to a good school, like a nice background. So it felt like he's too good for me. So of course, if he accepts me, then I am accepted, you know?
Mhm,
Um, and that kind of helped me release some of that
mhm.
obsession or whatever it was, because I was like, that's really why, in a way it opened me up to be like, it can be somebody else if it's not him, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I'd like it to be him, but it's okay if it's not him. But then I realized what it was about him that I wanted was this acceptance to a certain, I guess, society or, class or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But you also see the aspect because there is no other here. So he's mirroring back to you what you would like for yourself. That's why we like anybody. Is because you like yourself how you are when you're with him. You like
Yes.
that feeling. You finally feel like you are who you're supposed to be when you're with him. But that had nothing to do with him. It's just a mirror showing you that you are that. Are you going to choose a reality where that is already the fact? And he's just the expression where you share in that fulfillment with, but he's not a singular person that can give you that fulfillment.
Hmm.
So so that's the reason why you liked him because you liked the you who is in that reality that feels that amazing way already. So that's what you like. You like how you're free you are, how limitless you are, how, worthy you feel. But that's showing you that's who you truly are. So why can you not
Hmm.
accept that right now in this reality, the where you are worthy, you are chosen? Then then it neutralizes it to where he can come back and just share with you that fulfillment that you both are because you'll be a vibrational match. You don't hold a form, which is a person, above I am. You know that you could draw from yourself that feeling and that expression, and you're just going to share that with him. And that just makes the relationship so much better instead of, okay,
Hmm.
I see him as like above me in this form above me, and need him to do this in order for me to feel good enough. I need him to choose me in order to feel good enough. It'll be like, no, I've chosen myself and I feel that within myself and I can draw from the source within me that power. And so now he comes back, you're on the same level. It's just the relationship is just good. And even if it's not with him,
Right.
it'll be with someone else that'll mirror that. There's gonna be you haven't even met all the people that are gonna love you in this
No,
reality. So there's so much to be excited for.
true. But because the same thing, like, same, I met somebody else after him, and the same insecurities came out. He felt like he's super wealthy and has done so well for himself, smart. And I was like, oh, am I really smart enough? So I was like, the problem
Yeah.
is me because the guys are coming in, but then I'm the one who's kind of like pushing them away.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that tells you that you are that. You just had the identity that
Mhm.
I'm not that and I need to become that, or I need to be linked to someone in order to be that. But you are that. So if you have to go within and see that you already are that. That's why your inner senses are creative. You're imagining yourself, your jobs showing you that you are successful, that you are worthy, that the money is there for yourself and the opportunities and the people that you meet, like all of that is there for you now. So if you were to see that and feel that about yourself and feel that about your source because it's from your source which all of this comes from, that just makes you so much more magnetic and attractive to everyone else. So of course you're going to get the people that are inviting you in the inner circles and the people that are going to offer you the jobs, and then the people that are going to be beating down your door to date you, like all of that happens because you trust your source, that it's the doer
Mhm.
of it, the doer of the creator of your reality.
So would that, how like now I was able to catch um, that thought pattern that I was not in the state. I was wondering if it could be the same thing with my in the state was in that. But, um, then I'm wondering, so for example, the kind of jobs I've been getting, because I'm a freelance stylist. And so the jobs I've been getting right now are well paying. And I'm wondering, by accepting them and not waiting for the ones that have like a bigger budget, am I settling? Is it
No,
um
they just
does
came
that
from
keep
the
me in the same state?
yeah, they just were from that state where you didn't feel worthy enough. You know what I mean? So now in this new state,
Mhm.
because you know that you're wealthy, you know that you're chosen and your work is good because you're good, you know, the people that have the budget are automatically going to come to you because they're coming out of you to express the wealth that you feel about yourself. So so even now, like with the people that you do work with, you don't have to change what is, but all you know that you're doing is elevating the belief and the feeling about yourself about being chosen, and then other people are going to come in and mirror that. So don't worry about what happened in the past, like, and don't worry about accepting because you no longer accept that, because remember you have a new past now where you've always accepted the people that have had, you know, the budget for you and whatnot, so it can be no other way. So of course the people that have the budget that you want are going to come in. So that's just how it is. You got a whole new life
Okay.
here. So don't worry about what happened in that other reality. It's now this is the
Mhm.
only focus. So mhm.
So, okay. So the mindset I should be having is I should still accept these jobs that I'm getting as I get them, or should I just turn them down and wait for like a
I
higher
wouldn't
pay?
no, the thing is if you love what you do, then
Yeah,
you
I
know
do.
that you would do it for free and still be
Yeah,
supported. That's how much you
yeah.
have to trust your source.
Okay.
So you can always, you know, mirror back to them and show them this is my actual budget. Because how do you know they won't pay that budget? How do you know? You don't know. So all you do now is move from that you that's already been charging that budget. So when they come in, you're 100% like, look, this is my budget. And the people that are going to meet that, or they're going to come up with the money somehow, that's not your concern. You just stand in your power of who you are. And the people have to bend to it because if you're secure with it, other people are going to be like, yes, I'm going to find the way. I'm going to pay that, like whatever the case may be. But if you're thinking, okay, like I might just accept this or I'll accept this, then you diminish like who you are. So all you have to do now is the people that you already have accepted, do the work and do it great or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But the people from now, like your price is your price, you know, because you're always chosen in this reality and you get paid the money
Mm,
that you want to get paid. So it can be no other way.
okay. Because I kind of in with what I had asked on Saturday about, well, not really changing careers, but I feel I've been doing this for 17 years and I just feel like I want to get to the next level, a new challenge, something different. And
Mm,
more consistent income, you know, and I'd say that the feeling I'd want is fulfillment and fun. That's
yeah.
because what I do right now as a stylist is fun. I enjoy it.
Mhm.
So whatever I want to, so the next level for me has to be at least the minimum is fun and fulfilling, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, fulfillment is I am. It's within I am. So the thing is, like, if you can imagine yourself like with even what you do now as being fulfilled, because I am is always fulfilling what you're doing. It just may in that reality, it may not have been the way that you want it because I am was always showing you that you can imagine for yourself more, that you can have more. So I am is ready to fulfill that as well with what you do now. And during this course in your new reality, if things shift into another reality or another job, that's going to just naturally unfold. But if you could find the fulfillment from the perception shift now with what you do, and just think about it, it has been able to afford you some things. It has been able, you've been able to for 17 years do what you love.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
fulfillment. But now I am is showing you that hey, you can call forth more money even with what you do now. That's why it felt like, I'm not, you know, making the money that I want because you know that you can do more. I am within you knows that it can
True.
produce
Yeah.
more and it, you could be fulfilled in that way. But I am is fulfillment. So you go within. And you imagine the people paying you with no, just like, hey, whatever. Like, of course, we're paying it. Of course. Like, you imagine that. You hear what you want to hear, you see what you want to see. And then when you see it within, that is fulfillment. I am fulfilled it for you. And you gave it to yourself. So you know it's going to be outpictured as you continue to stand in that, knowing that I do have what I want.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't change nothing. Just, you're just choosing.
Choosing. It's a choice. I think, yeah, I need to, yeah, it's a choice. I'm choosing. Okay. It's just crazy how this like little thoughts sneak in without even realizing it, that you've gone
Yeah.
back to the old state.
Well,
It's
that's the thing about being the observer
crazy.
is like how you caught that pattern
Mhm.
before. When you're if you just sit and you because the thing is all thoughts are going to come up, all emotions are going to come up, and that's just what it is. Your source, of course, all of it wants to have a chance to be grabbed onto and lived out. That's why we're here. There's not a single thought that you think that you're thinking that you have ever made up on your own. All thoughts are just floating around. So what's happening here is I am is just observing the thought. So say the thought will come up of saying, "Oh, like this person won't choose me," or "Oh, I'm not good enough." It's not the fact that the thought came up, because when you don't do anything about the thought, it passes. But when you grab onto the thought and say, "This means something about me," I have to dissect it. I have to figure out why I thought that. And then you start running it through the past and all of that. Now you're engaging and creating a story because of that thought. But when you don't do anything with it, you're being the I am, the observer of it, and you're just letting it pass. It literally passes, it leaves. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just about being aware. It's just about being aware.
Okay. One last one. So when it comes to money, because right now I have like rent arrears. I really don't want to have to borrow money. But is it okay to just like, I don't know, borrow? I don't want more debt, but it feels like, okay, I'm catching myself saying this. I'm also deciding that the only way I can pay off my rent is by borrowing.
That might not be the only way. The thing is that
Yeah,
in a new reality, in that old reality, that's what you would have had to do. But in
yeah,
this reality, you've always made the money. You've always been chosen. You've always so it can't be no other way. There's no reason why you should entertain because you have a completely different past now where the rent has been paid, everything has been paid. So it's just your perception needs to be on that you're always taken care of. You're always taken
mm,
care of.
yeah. I like
And
that.
and all you have to do is just imagine that it's always been paid. Now the way in which it's going to happen, that's not your concern,
Mm,
you know? The more that you just keep thinking that it's always been this way, I've always been paid. It's always been paid. You don't know how the clients might start coming, like the guys might be like, "Here you go, I want to be with you so much, I'm paying your rent." Like you just don't know. You don't know how it's gonna happen, but you're just open now because you're
exactly.
yeah, you're in this new reality, so you're open. So don't worry. Like the
Yeah.
more you don't worry, the more you just keep feeding yourself and giving yourself the thoughts of my reality is the way that I want it to be. It's always been this way. Because remember, you have a different past now, so you have to say it's always been this way that I'm chosen. I've always been supported in my business. My rent has always been paid. Like I'm fulfilled in every area of my life. That's all. That's all that will be mirrored back to you. So don't for 1 second think of the past or hang on to anything that you believe happened because you have to see that even this past that you believe happened, like it's nowhere near to be found. Like you can't find it. You can't go back and tangibly grasp it. Time is just one moment that the human identity says, "I don't like that. There's something wrong with that." And it's stretched out one moment that already passed that you just stretched out because you keep engaging with it in thoughts and making up stories about it and then it's out picturing itself. So that's what time is. That one moment that one thing happened that you don't like had already passed in awareness. So it was technically never even happening. It was just an illusion because of thoughts you kept thinking and buying into and feeding and all of that. all things happen once and moves across awareness. It's just you take it
Mm.
and you place it and then you're looking at it and stretched it out. So if you could do the same with like, I've always been taken care of, I've always been chosen, always been secure, and then you take that one moment where it's always been that way and you stretch it out and you're imagining within and you're giving yourself those thoughts, those emotions, those feelings about that. That's what's going to be continuously outpictured, and you have a new story that's come out of that. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you. Thank
welcome.
you. Like,
I really hope that it definitely assisted you.
yes, it did. It did. Yeah, it really has a lot of freedom. Just, how they say when you get to know something, when you open, your mind is opened up, it's just like this sense of relief. So
Yeah, yeah, it should
mm,
feel like relief. That's how you know,
it
like, you
does.
shifted because you're not beholden to a old story. Like, you realize
Yeah.
that source is just because when you imagine, it's happening instantly. So that's who you truly are because you can imagine yourself anywhere and doing whatever. So you're not
Mhm,
beholden to
mhm.
anything from even 5 minutes ago, even 10 minutes ago. You're completely fresh now. So it's just what you do now. Like you can go on and experience life the way you want to experience it. So yeah.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I wish you the very best and hopefully we talk again and you update me, you know.
I
Yeah.
will. I will.
Alrighty.
Thank you so, so much. I appreciate you and all the best. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. I'll send this to you as soon as it's done uploading.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right. You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.